Hi, how's it going? Here's my vlog for the 30th of June 2022. I didn't look at when the last time I did a video was. Um, it would have been more than a week or whatever, I don't know, but so I'll talk about what happened since then. Today I'm kind of achy. I done went and got me in a bike wreck today, dude. Look at my hand. Look at my hand, dude. Schnitzed. 4 different places I got broken skin, and my ribs are freaking sore. I've been, I've only been out of my room for like a couple months. I think it's been a couple months yet. But so I'm like super clumsy and stuff, right? So, like I've been like kicking stuff and knocking stuff over, or whatever. I drop stuff all the goddamn time. But I did something today that I ain't never done, and it's like what the fuck is wrong with me? It's like, yeah, I rode my bike. I had to go out to the store. I was kind of buzzed on alcohol, but I was riding to the store because I wanted to get my Velcro. I wanted to get these. I got, see, that hurts. That hurts. Oh man. Oh man, my ribs. I wanted to get Velcro strips. I cut this in half, so it's normally double the length width. I didn't even get enough. I'm like afraid to get more. I need to get a bunch more. I'll have to go there tomorrow. But and like I'm trying to be safe because I'm older and I feel like I'm gonna get hurt. So I was like, wear a helmet. Normally I don't wear a helmet when I commute, but now I'm gonna wear a helmet every time. So I got the helmet because I felt like I was gonna get in a wreck. And yeah, and so I'm riding down the road and I'm like, ooh, go into the sidewalk, dude. Because I had a light, but it was like really dim, and I don't have a backlight at all. Maybe I have one where my lights are. I'll have to look. That's how unorganized I am. So I didn't want to get hit by a car because I knew I didn't have a backlight. And I'm like, go to the sidewalk. I'm all freaked out because it's nighttime. It's like 9:35 at night. Home Depot closes at 10. And so you know how at the intersections you have the curb goes down for the pedestrians. Well, it goes down for going to this light, and it went down going to that light, right? So I'm like, okay, make your move over to the sidewalk, right? Only I wasn't looking where I was going. See, that's the problem with me. Like, I don't look where I'm going. Like, even grabbing things. I'll be like listening to music because I'm high off my ass all the time. And I'll be like, oh, grab the remote. And I'll just like grab for the remote without looking. So obviously I'm not gonna hit it, or I'm gonna like not be looking. And what I do a lot is I pick something up and then I bring it to where I need to go, but it always clips something else because I don't look where the fuck I am. No spatial awareness. It just falls out of my hand. So it's the same thing. I wasn't looking where I was going, and I forgot. And I've almost hit these before. I forgot that there was a curb in the middle. On the block at the corner of the block, the curb comes back. They bring it back for like 3 feet. And then it goes down again for the pedestrians, right? So I fucking nailed the goddamn curb, dude. Like head on. A straight angle freaking curb. Without even knowing that there was a curb there. I'm just like, listen to music. You know, when you hit a curb, dude, when you least expect it like that, dude, it's gonna stop your bike cold. Which means you're gonna be doing dun 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 dun. You'll be fucking Superman flying through the air. So that's what I'm doing. Next thing I know, I'm Superman flying through there. I'm like, wait, what? This isn't supposed to happen. It happened so fast I didn't even know how it happened. I'm like, why am I flying through there like Superman? Like, what the fuck did I hit? So then I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to land on my hands instead of my feet. I'm up in the air and I'm gonna have to land on my freaking hands traveling across. So luckily I had time to like, you know, time it and everything. I was blindsided by hitting the curb, but not by landing. So yeah, I landed, but you know, I'm not that strong, and I weighed like 290 pounds. So I couldn't break the whole force, so I broke some of it, but then I just whacked my freaking left ribs, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And right next to where I was a freaking concrete, from you hit the button, concrete angle. There's concrete corners, man, fucking kill your ass. So yeah, I'm gonna wear a helmet every time, but I've never done that before. One time when I was in college, I was going around a corner and I like hit a round pebble, and I crashed. That was the only time I crashed. One time when I was like 11 or 12, I was going around from in-car, just turned in a corner really slowly, and I slipped on gravel and crashed. In Europe, I hit an oil slick going across the supermarket parking lot and went down. And it was a full-on oil slick. And then like a couple years ago, I actually went down at like 30 miles an hour. But that's like the only times I've ever crashed in my life. Like I don't crash. Oh my God. So, and like that, right into a goddamn curb. So anyways, earlier today, I got up kind of late, and I never paid my taxes this year because I like didn't have the money. But then I finally went to pay some of my taxes. Went to my mom's house because I don't want to do it here. It's like a chore, and then I was like, but the website didn't let me in, so I gave up. So my mom is gonna just send them a check for what we think it might be tomorrow, and but then I found a beer in her kitchen refrigerator, and I drank it, and then like her roommate left last week or whatever, and left this giant bottle of gin. So she made me a big old tall bottle of glass of gin and tonic. So I was kind of buzzed, plus I got stoned and over. And so then I went straight to the pet store and got 2 parakeets. I told the girl I want a green one and a blue one, and she took her like 40 minutes to get it out, and then she gave me a yellow one and a green one, which is fine. But I rode my bike and came back here, and then I was like, I found the lights that came in the mail, and but I didn't have any Velcro, so that's when I went. So I was drunk and stoned because I smoked a bunch of weed before I went there, but still, like, dude, like, you have to look where you're going. I wasn't even looking where I'm going, but I had almost done that over the years. So it's like, Jesus, dude. So I'm like a major bonehead, dude. Been smoking a lot of weed, like, the whole time I've been doing this. So since the last time I talked, I've just been organizing and stuff and trying to clean up stuff. And so I don't know. Yeah, I kind of can't even remember. So let's just say, I'll just try to guess. So yeah, I moved the Tegu over to the big cage. So Tegu's in the big cage, which is cool, and he likes it. He hangs out and eats whatever he needs. He doesn't eat that much. And then kind of likes to sleep at night, and like in a hole that's under the water bowl, because the Tegu is 16 inches long. So the distance between like his front legs and his back legs is like this much. So he's not that big. Whole length is like that or something with his long tail. But he, instead of going to the hide, he goes in the hide and then he goes underneath the giant water bowl for a full-grown tiger. And that's like where he sleeps every night, like in his hole. And I have his smoke thing on top every day. But then in the morning, he was hanging out today all day, so it was cool. It's not kind of becoming more docile every day. So, but then like day before yesterday, today it's like 1:30 in the morning on like Thursday. So I think it was on Monday. Or maybe it was on Tuesday. Monday, I wanted, yeah, I think it was Monday. I was like, last week I finished my ferret enclosure, and so I was like, I need a ferret now. I need the ferret now, because I just thought about how cool it would be to have ferrets running around in here. So I went down to the pet store, and like 5 or something, but they were too busy to sell me it, so I went back, and then like they didn't have enough workers there to sell me it. Oh, no. They could have sold me it the first time I went, but I didn't have a car, because I was going to get the ferret, but then they said 2 for 1. I was like, oh, okay. instead of 400 for one, it was 390 for two, and they're only 6 months old, brothers. And so I was like, oh, I'll be back. Can I put a down payment? Can I like reserve it? And she's like, no, you can't. You just have to come. So I was like, Mom, you know, but she was busy watching a movie, and I think she even answered me on the movie. But then when she finally got out of the movie, I was like, come over here now. And we went over there, but then even though they were open, they didn't want to sell it to me because there weren't enough workers. So I had to come back, and I was like, okay, come back at 10 when they open. Come back at 10. I was freaking out. Like, she's like, don't worry about it. Like, we've had them. Nobody's shown any interest. So my mom had to go and do a favor for a friend in Denver all day, and for some reason, like, didn't want to do it in the morning, and like had to do it, and like just wasn't available in the morning. So my mom was like, don't worry about it. I'll just help when I come back. So she finally comes back at like 3 or whatever. I'm like, let's get over there. And we go over there, and like we're there like 5 freaking minutes. Like I'm standing there, and then like the lady comes up, you know, and she takes off to go get the paperwork or whatever. And this little girl, this like 12-year-old girl and her mother come up, and they're like, hey, look at the wait, are you getting it? And I was like, yeah. And then she like starts crying, like, and like runs off. Like I was trying to tell the mother, like I made a whole system for it, you know, next to a big Tegu stuff. And she's like, hey, we gotta get out of here. So I got so lucky. I mean, I knew my hunch was right, you know, I needed to get the ferrets now. So yeah, I brought the ferret home, but by the time we got home, one of the ferrets escaped and was like running all over my mom. And but then I managed to put it back in and zip tape up the control or the box and brought it in. And but then so it's like I have an awesome ferret enclosure. I have a big ferret cage. I can't remember how big it is. It's like 46 inches long and like really high. And plastic cage that came like all like busted up. Most of my KT cages came busted up, and one of my aquariums smashed. But so it's next to the Tegu, so they're literally right next to the Tegu. And then the tube goes up to the ceiling, like at about this gradient, and then does a loop like this, which the ferrets can do. They go up and down all the time, and then it goes across the ceiling to another cage on the ceiling of the living room where my bedroom is. That's where they've made their poopy place. And then there's a tunnel that goes into my bedroom where there's a little travel, and I'll do a video of this later, cage where they can go both ways to do a 360 around the roof of my bedroom. And so then I have a really big, tall cage on the northwest side of my bedroom above my bicycle. And then a nice big cage that's like long and short on the southwest corner of my bedroom. And yeah, so I heard them like running around circles and stuff this morning. And when I get up and come outside, they follow me and come downstairs. They're like dogs, the way they follow you around. And they're like at attention, like they want to do something. They're like little dogs like that. It's cool. But yeah, but like the first time I brought them, the first night, I guess night before last, I didn't, because between the two cages, I don't have the plastic tubes or the little accordion tube, which is more flexible. It's just accordion in my room, and then the plastic in the living room that they can look out of. It's like the plastic hamster tubes, only for ferrets. But I had to sew them together, but I didn't sew them together enough places to make the holes enough, because I forgot how small holes they can get out of. They can get out of tiny little holes. So I walked into my room, and one of the ferrets was on the floor. I'm like, oh no, how'd you get, oh, I know how you got out. Did you fall to the ground? How the hell did you get to the ground from the freaking ceiling? So like an idiot, I put the ferret back in the cage, and I was like, okay, escape, let's see where he went out. And he went out from exactly where I thought he would, one of those holes, which there's like 25 of them. So I'm like, all right, try to get the ferret, but I couldn't reach the ferret because it was higher than I could reach, because it's along the ceiling. It's like 9 feet up. So, and the ferret is like balancing like on a tightrope, because it's flaccid. It's just a flaccid thing that's just dangling, you know. And so he's like dangling, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm holding my arm up like, okay, well, I'll spot you for if you fall, because he's trying to make his way back to the cage on the north side. and he almost made it, but I'm like, I'm spot you, I try to get you, and he fell, but he missed my hand, kind of scratched my arm on the way down, and hit the ground, fell the entire way from the ceiling to the floor. But luckily, there was nothing jagged down there, and I have a rug and then a shag rug on top of it, so it's super cushy. So he just like landed and then just kept running. So I was like, thank God. But yeah, it was stupid of me as hell because it could have killed it if it had fallen like on the chair down there or the bike or anything. But I should have plugged up those holes, but I just got too antsy. You know, I was gonna make sure, but that's why I should have done it first. Like, should have done it all right when I did it before. But so then I just let him for like an hour or two because I was working until 4 in the morning. For like a couple hours, I was just plugging up. I didn't have the little zip ties, just the big 14-inch ones. So I was doing it with those, just punching holes with the knife and then just running those through like 25 more holes. And they haven't gotten out yet, so now they can't get out. But and then I put them back in the cage, and then this morning I finally decided to look where their poop was, because when they first came here, they pooped all over the living room when they were running around, and I never saw poop in their cage, and I had them like more than a day in there. So I looked in the cage on the ceiling, the living room cage, and yeah, they had poop there, and they spilled the food and it got it all wet. So but I didn't have any. I forgot to put the ferret litter anywhere. There was no ferret litter anywhere. So yeah, I had to clean up all the poop and like wipe it up, and this is like up on the ceiling. So I had to stand on a chair and put a big a stool on top of the chair, stand on top of the stool on top of the chair, and then like reach in the cage and like wipe it up and everything. And yes, but then I threw some ferret litter in there, and I ordered more. I need more because I have like 5 cages, and each of them has water and food. All of them have water and food. The little travel cage has a food bowl. I mean a water bowl. So that's their one like water bowl. Like when I got it, they said don't give them water bowl because you'll replace it 5 times a day. But yeah, I'll give them like water bottles, but a water bowl on this one, so they get a water pool for them to wash, bathe, or do whatever they want to do with the water bowl every day. Just fill it up, because I looked at it, and after I'd filled it up, and it was totally empty, bone dry, and the cage was bone dry. So they it's not like they spilled it or whatever. They like drank it or washed themselves with it or something, but they used it. So, you know, like the food bowl next to it wasn't wet with wet food, and there was no wet food on the bottom or anything, you know. And I think there's some bedding, and I think I might throw the bedding in there. So my mom says there needs to be bedding, and I forgot. Yeah, I think I'll throw some hamster bedding in there. I'll do research. But yeah, so then, but I forgot to close the door, and like I looked up. I was trying to opening stuff from boxes today, my lights, and I looked up, and the ferret was backing up and just about to fall, and it was like way up on the ceiling, but he was gonna fall on hardwood floor. So I was like, I was like, oh shit, I grabbed the ferret and closed the door. So those ferrets, like, for some reason, before I decided I was gonna buy ferrets, before I kind of thought about it, what ferrets are. Ferrets are ground animals. I wanted ferrets to be like a substitute for a monkey, and I built these little ferret causeway around my entire apartment, coming out of their cage up there, and little stairs to take them down. I'll do the video later, but now I'm like, dude, the ferret will fall and die, dude. Like, what the hell are you thinking? But I got 2 parakeets today, so those things, at least those things have places to perch everywhere. So man, my hand is like numb, like totally numb on all of this. I hope I didn't break any bones, man. Oh, hey, I did pretty good though for not having gloves, right? Like I took all the brunt on my left side for some reason. Anyway, right here, this is where I got the brunt. This is what hit it, what took the brunt right here. Boom, this little guy right there. And then my ribs. Oh, that hurts. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, but they're running around all day today. And oh yeah, and the Tegu is out there. Like the Tegu, when the Tegu hangs out in his basque, and then when the ferrets are hanging out on sleeping, they're like 2 feet away from each other, and they can see each other, because the level that I'll do the video later, but where the ferrets are is the same level as the dirt of the Tegu, and the thing that separates them is glass. So they literally next to each other, and then the ferrets can go to a second level up and actually look down and see the Tegu without any glass. So, but like they weren't paying attention to each other at all. They're right next to each other. The Tegu didn't seem to notice the ferret, and the ferret didn't seem to notice the Tegu. So I don't know what the deal with that was, but yeah. So then I went to my mom's house, and then came back and got these little parakeets. So yeah, now I have two ferrets, my leopard gecko, my fish, and two parakeets. I was thinking about getting an owl, but they're actually illegal in Colorado. They're only legal in like 6 states, Minnesota being one of them. I can't remember which one other, but I think. But oh God, I hope I didn't break any bones in my hand. I've never done an endo like this at 190 pounds. It's usually what cyclists do, and they weigh like 150. It's like a cyclist doing an endo on a bike with a fucking 40-pound backpack on. Anyway, so, and I have to bale hay tomorrow. I got a job baling hay yesterday. On Monday, I baled hay. Like, I can't remember what you call it, the quarter or whatever, the huge truck full of it. And it took 3 hours. And then tomorrow, my mom came with me though and watched. And like hung out with the lady. My mom's gonna take me tomorrow too, but at 9 in the morning, so I have to get up at like 8 to have a nice big breakfast. I think I'm gonna have like a nice big dinner, some grape nuts. So yeah, so I mean, I just got these lights. This is what I just put up today, and we'll see how it looks. So I still now the animals I want, because I was looking at what the pet stores have. They have a green anole, so I'm gonna go back down to that pet store and get the green anole and put it in my 10-galloner where I was gonna put a snake, and then I'm gonna order online a sandfish, skink, and then they sell at the pet store a scorpion, so I'll buy that, and then they sell a tarantula, so I'll buy that because I have a scorpion place and a tarantula place, and so that's cool. All I have to do is go to the store down here, so all I have to do is set up my habitat, you know. I want to set it up with the vivarium though, you know, so. And then in the 30-gallon, I was gonna put a gargoyle gecko, but I don't want to have too many geckos. I already have like 3 different geckos. I have a leopard, and I'm gonna get a crested, and then I think I may put like a morning in with the dart frog. But yeah, and I'm gonna get a dart frog, and I have we're gonna put waterfish there and an axolotl there, and then in the 30-galloner, a snake. I think a king snake, and I'm gonna make it my waterfall. I did have a waterfall in the dart frog vivarium, but that's a small vivarium. It's only like 12.5 gallons, 18 inches high by 12 by 12, and it's like the vibration the sound that the waterfall motor makes, like resting on the bottom of the glass, is just way too loud for a dart frog. It'll drive the dart frog up the wall. Like, I can hear it in my apartment. Like, when it's night in my apartment, the humidifier for the Tegu is like meh. And I have 2 other humidifiers that I'm going to use, and but they're not, I don't have them, I haven't put them on yet, that I found in my garage. But like the other day I was laying and I could hear that one, but then up in the south part of the apartment I could hear the vibration for that waterfall. So it's like, no way, dude. So now it's right there. It's on my little action figure stand right there outside, just as decoration. So that's all it was supposed to be anyway, decoration. Now it did do a good job of keeping the place, you know, humid, because it evaporated. You have to refill those like every 2 days, every 2 or 3 days. But there's other ways. I have a system, an automatic system, and I got the attachments today to make it so that it does too, because the crested gecko and dart frog take kind of like overlapping humidity requirements, so I can do it both at the same time, which is cool because they're close to each other. So oh yeah. So in the 30-galloner, I was thinking about I was gonna do a gargoyle gecko, but I don't want the geckos because I already have, the leopard gecko, the crested, and then maybe the morning gecko. So that's at least two geckos. And then I was like, cool, a knoll, because there's a new animal. I got the skink, now the anole, the oh, and I'm gonna get a mantis. I got a mantis vivarium, and then 4 different micro habitats for 4 different jumping spiders, different kinds of jumping spiders, or maybe one of them will take a millipede. I don't know, centipede, but maybe another one's something else. I think I'm gonna put like a blue lobster. Those are great in my aquarium. But and I bought the salt if in case I want to make it salt for the seahorses. But yeah, so I was happy that the knoll's cool because it looks like a chameleon with its eyes and stuff, and it was like smile, and I loved it, man. I saw it, and I was like, wow. That it can go in a 10-gallon or so. The 30-gallon, the snake. I want a snake. And I was thinking ball python for a split second, but no, it's too small for that. So yeah, king snake, because they sell the king snake at that freaking store, the king snake. And so I love it when you just go right down the store. So and that'll be good enough for a 30-gallon, and that's going to have an indoor waterfall because it's big enough. I think that whatever animal is going to have to deal with it. It's 30 gallons. It's bigger than the other one, but I got a bigger pump, and yeah, I'm going to have a waterfall that goes around the periphery of the cage. I haven't seen something like that to make the water like last the longest, and maybe even branch out and make as many little rivers as I can. That'd be awesome. And hopefully a snake can deal with that, but I'll have plenty of places for snake to crawl. So yeah, so I'll put a king snake there. So yeah, I made some adjustments to what animals I want. But yeah, so maybe like another week, hopefully, because I want it to be done by July. So so yeah, but I'm not gonna be able to start training because that's what I'm gonna do after this. I'm gonna become a triathlete, pro triathlete. I'm gonna win Kona pro category and break the 7-hour barrier. First person to break the 7-hour barrier. That's what the 12 Olympian gods have proclaimed upon me. In order to save humanity. So, what the hell was I talking about? But I'm not going to be able to concentrate on that at all until my house is like squared away. Like I'm just going to sit here and work on it until I get to the point where, where I can sit here and be like, look around and think and be like, perfect. I can't think of anything. Setting up a house is like really similar to like writing. You know how you write and then you proofread and then you write and you proofread and you write and you proofread, and then until you read what you proofreaded for the gazillionth time, and then you go, wow, that's perfect. It's just adjustment, weight, adjustment, weight, adjustment, weight. And Kirsten was saying, oh, a house looks lived in, that the saying house that's lived in is like, like you need time between all of the renovations to sit there and think about the best thing to do. And if you're not like actively sitting there and thinking, because you don't have the time, then it'll just take time for ideas to come, and then implementing them. But I'm like actively like sitting here and thinking, which takes time, like stuff that you wouldn't think takes time, like actually takes up a lot of time in your day. Like you wouldn't think even online shopping. Man, I hope I don't have like inflation or broken bones or something tomorrow, because my bone, it feels like flat here, but here a little bit like popping up. Anyway, yeah, so like the time of just sitting here and strategizing takes time. And then like the act of like just grabbing the packages at the door, never mind how much time I'm spending not having to actually go to the store and pick stuff out, but just getting stuff at the door and then unpacking it and throwing it in the recycle and the trash takes time. but because I'm just doing so much. I'm going from 0 to 100% in like 2 months. So, because this house was like a rental a couple months ago, you know. Everything I've gotten in the last 2 months that I have. So, which is super exciting, but yeah, I'm doing better than I thought I would. So, yeah, so I don't, maybe like another week. Yeah, another week. Or maybe 2 weeks maximum. 2 weeks maximum. 1 week probably. Until I'll have all those other animals, you know. I mean, I guess I have to order them, and I don't know how long that'll take or if it's available, but I haven't asked the pet stores around here if they could order the animals for me. Maybe they have a better way of getting them. I don't know, because they offered doing that. But they, because I want a very specific, I want the yellow bumblebee frog, because it's the one that sings. But anyways, I have been rambling on for 31 minutes. Yeah, go have a shower now and then go to sleep, hopefully, or at least lie down. And yeah, get up tomorrow. Man, those ferrets. I love having a little thing to get me up in the morning, and those ferrets, like, the sun comes up. They can see the sun come up through the windows that I have. I have windows on 2 different walls. So then I hear them like, and then as soon as I come out, they follow me and they come down into there. It's cool. It makes me feel bad when I don't let them out, but people say that they sleep all the time. That's not my experience. Ferrets are diurnal like humans, and they get, I guess they said 14 hours of sleep a day, which is like us plus 6 hours, so plus 3 extra in the morning and evening, but they're cat nappers. They appear to be cat nappers, so it's not like they sleep all the time. It's like they just sleep when they're not doing anything, or when they're not up, like or they're not like on call, you know. Seems like they're dogs that way. So they you know, if I'm like suddenly come in the living room, they'll like get up, wake up all of a sudden. And and they also like to sleep all over the place. I thought they were gonna sleep every night in the hammocks because it's dark, in the little felt tubes. It's the only place that they have darkness all the time, and they slept there the first night. But then, like, I see them sleeping on the cage, just in the open in my room, and then I see them sleeping in the cage in the open in my living room, even with the lights on. And then they like to sleep in the tube, like on the top of the tube of the where it goes up. They were just sleeping, and so it's cool. But I ordered cages, like the little travel cage I have in my room. That's the transit cage. I ordered 2 more of those, because the ferrets kind of have to struggle a little bit to get up the up part. They were kind of, even took them a little while to get it going, and I want to be more graceful, so I'm going to get 2 of those cages, and then I'm going to stack them on top of each other, and then get the little steps that I have, stairs, so that all they have to do is go up to the bottom of the cage, and then they just do the stairs to get to the top, so that they don't have to do that whole like thing. I mean, it's easier for them to come back down, but going up, I wouldn't appreciate having to do that all the time. Plus, I have the space for it. It's between 2 of the bikes, so I don't think it'll take any extra space. It's another place for the parrot to hang out and check out the house in a different angle, and it looks cool. And below it, I can put another shelf, because it'll create the space for that. So, yeah, I think it'll work. And yeah, so I'll do a video of it in like a week or 2. But it's gonna be like, it's world class, dude. World class apartment. I would say best apartment. You know, if you're gonna do a point system to apartment design, like extra points for extra plants and different species of animals, and as far apart as the animal species are from each other, in the smallest space, and you know, still maintaining its functionality and aesthetic. Yeah, man. I'm super, super, super proud of myself, and I mean, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, plus I have the fish in the living room. I mean, on the hallway, but the effect that I want to go for is like in my head. I'm really good at creating a little world in my head because I don't hang out with people who like to rain on my parade. Is that I'm like a superstar. I'm all of a sudden just like this. I'm a superstar professional athlete, baby. And like, as far as like how fast I am or whatever, that's a part. I'm just talking about in my living. So I balance like, oh, I went on an awesome ride, man. Awesome ride, man. So tired. And then I come into my awesome like superstar athlete house. I was watching Ted Lasso with my mom, and those like soccer stars, and they have the nice houses. Because they're superstars. Yeah, go to my house, superstar house, baby. Everything's awesome. And I think I can make some kind of like, I'm just curious for the symbiosis, the vivarium aspect of the entire house, you know? You try to make vivariums to make all the little living organisms and the plants and animals and stuff balance. But I want to do that with my entire apartment, you know? Like, I have so many reptiles that eat crickets, right? So just feed all the crickets. The crickets to all the animals, so it's not any extra work. You let the ferrets run around. Well, a lot of crickets get free and a lot of roaches get free. Free food for the ferrets because it's pure protein. It's something that a ferret can eat. Yeah, that kind of thing. So I don't think it'll be extra work really, because the amount of work that I would have to do maintaining it, I just use that as the exact time that I would use hanging out with the animals anyway, you know. So I bought a smoke machine. I want to get it motion activated because every time I walk in, this monkey goes ooh, ooh, ah, 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 and then the Emerald Forest music comes on to set the tone for entering the house. Because I got a whole bunch of plants, like fake plants all over my bird cage and over here, and this hammock and all over the apartment. I got 2 Rain Point computers, watering systems that can do 10 plants each, and so I have at least 20 plants now, and probably get more of the big ones that go into these white ones. And I have like 4 of the ones that aren't self-watering. 2 of them are faces, but yeah. So it's like the jungle. But yeah, I want to have some motion activated smoke machine, because then the smoke would come out of the closet where my grow house is. I have 2 grow rooms. The closet and my bathroom are going to be weed. Tomorrow I get the silver lining to put around both of them. And I already have the lights. All I have to do is mount them and the fans, which I already have. I have to figure out the electricity thing about it. But so yeah, you walk in and all this smoke comes out like ooh, ah, ah. Oh, and then I also got a disco laser light. So maybe I could figure out a way to motion activate that. So you walk into the apartment, ooh, ah, 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 ooh, ah, 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 woo, woo, woo. Smoke everywhere, and then lights. And maybe I could do, yeah. And then I have been playing on my Amazon Music and my big 85-inch TV. I got Amazon Rainforest Music going off all the time, like the birds and stuff. And then I have my budgies are going to be singing, and then my dart frog, you know, and then the escaped crickets. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So anyways, I've talked long enough. I don't like doing videos too much when I'm doing all this work because I'm just busy all the time, and I'm just really antsy. I'm really like desirous to show the finished product, so it's kind of frustrating to be like, oh yeah, I'm not done yet. You know, I'd prefer to just wait a week and maybe I could be done. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just wait another week before doing another video, you know, and then have the next video be like, wow, fucking watch this. Take some notes. Where's the video? Where's the camera? I need to put my eye to the thing. I think it's over here, yeah. Watch this. So, yeah, I'll do that pretty soon, and then finally I can start training. The training philosophy is going to be a little bit different this time than it was last time I tried, back in the beginning of 2020, right before COVID. I wanted to be a triathlete, so I was like trying to do all the sports, but this time I'm not. gonna be like that. I'm gonna be more focused towards the cycling, because over the last 2 years, I have just been not moving at all, and so the aging process, mixed with lack of exercise, took me down even farther. Every year just worse, especially if I'm not exercising. It's just falling apart. Like now I have, like, my shoulders are hurting all the time, like sharp shooting pain, like for no reason. And now I feel like my left hip, like the socket, like the joint is like sore, like hurting, like injured. And then I'm walking like with a limp because of my ankle injury came back and left. So it's like I'm walking like an old person, like. And so, and then I got in that bike rack, right? So, anyway, so if you're like way fucked up like I am, the easiest sport to do would be swimming and cycling. But weightlifting too, because you just do it by recording how many overall weights you lifted, right? So, whoa, this thing changed all on its own, all on its lonesome. I didn't even touch it. Anyway, here, let's go to yellow. So, I'll go to blue. I like blue. This one's cool because you don't have to point it directly at the thing. Huh. Anyway, but I'll try to run too, but I'm not gonna and also, just for the mood, even though I can swim, I think it'll be, if I can ride, I'll just prefer to ride because I can just ride mellow and explore and stuff. So anyway, it's gonna just be more cycling centered this time. Yeah, but I'm gonna be super jazzed to do the mountain biking and the gravel biking whenever I can afford to buy a gravel bike and a mountain bike. I have an old mountain bike, so I think I'll use that to do some of these local little like flat courses around here. I have to fix it up though; it's totally messed up, the cranks and everything. I have to replace the chain on my around the town road bike. That'll be maybe in a couple of years. I kind of took myself all the way into debt this time. But that's fine. I have LED lights everywhere. I feel like I'm in the future. LED lights everywhere. Like, I could get, for $140, I could get night vision goggles. That's something else I want to get. Imagine going hiking at night and checking out the wild. Well, night vision goggles / binoculars for that much. Holy Lord. Because that's when a lot of the animals come out, dude. Wouldn't that be cool to just go out there somewhere in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in the woods where there are a lot of animals, like the thickness of all the woods and foliage, and get a perch and just holy schnitz. Maybe you'd see like a mountain lion or bears and stuff. Oh man, you could film it. Oh, I want to see if they have one that you could attach to your video camera. One of those. And then you can get 3D printers for like $200. I'm not going to get that, but that's another thing, man. Like, there's this, imagine this. This is what I want to do. The Aurelian Tower, Marcus Aurelius's tower, which still exists. Go to Rome, look at it. It's made out of solid pieces of marble that they piece together like Legos, and it has the spiral staircase on the inside already built into it. So all they have to do is just put the one thing on the top, and boom, there you go. It's already hauled. It's just pieces. So you could laser print one of those suckers, and you could be like, hey, look at that. It's Marcus Aurelius's tower that I designed and laser printed. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I could like share the code. You could download the code from my website and print it yourself. Or maybe I could sell it. I could paint it up or whatever and sell it. But see, that'll give people the idea to make real ones. Because we have these big chunks of like nice light, like plastic. Every single city should have a replica of Hadrian's tower, because it's such a cool way to like vantage point to look around at your at your town, you know, the central area of your town, but also because of its historical value, its historical legacy. You can feel like you're back in ancient Rome, and it'll give you an idea of what ancient Rome looked like because you can see it compared to the tower. So yeah, people can actually still go up there, like a certain, like tour groups or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to go to sleep now, and hopefully my hand won't be all like messed up, like broken bones and like inflammation, so I can't bale hay tomorrow. Like kind of feels like it. These bones got bent up or like jacked in. Oh, like this is flat. This is like bent up. I hope I didn't break something. Dude, I mean, that's a recipe for freaking spraining your goddamn hand, or wrist or something, breaking bones in your hand. Do an endo on a goddamn bike and land on the pavement. I'm such an idiot, dude. Yeah, I have to calm down, you know? I've been like my way of, I guess, being productive. I think I've been pretty productive, is just keep moving like a rat, like a mouse or something. But I have to like be aware of my surroundings, you know? I don't want to get fucking injured. Okay, so anyways, that's enough talking. Talk to you tomorrow.